want to talk a little bit about this LA Times story the other day. Headline: As D's and F's soar, faced with soaring D's and F's, schools are ditching the old way of grading. Now, at first, I thought, well, ain't this convenient, right? Schools, they've just become, obviously, the hot button topic in the country. What our kids are being educated with, how they're being educated, critical race theory, and the like. And the LA Times comes out with a story that suggests that the two largest school districts in Southern California, LA and San Diego, says here, Los Angeles and San Diego unified the state's two largest school districts with some 660,000 students combined, have recently directed students to base academic grades on whether students have learned what was expected of them during a course and not penalize them for behavior, work habits, or missing deadlines. The policies encourage teachers to give students opportunities to revise essays or to retake tests to show that they have met learning goals rather than enforcing hard deadlines. Now, if you're the teachers union and you're in control of a school board budget and your budget is dependent on Washington or your state's school budget, typically these things are dispensed based on the kinds of grades that you're producing in your school system. But you've got, Los Angeles and San Diego, which are, urban areas. They've got soaring D's and F's. So it's very hard to justify increased budgets. It's very hard to justify, increased teacher pay and all those other things, right? Because the kids are failing their curriculum. So what's their bright idea? Well, just get rid of grades altogether, right? Which is just absurd. And they include in here, we're all rooted in this racist society, and underserved children just don't have a fair shake. And how dare we think that they could get good grades or even passing grades? But this gives parents an opportunity to say, okay, fine. Maybe grades A's and B's and C's, maybe that's not the best way to judge a kid's performance. But now you get to judge curriculum instead. Now you have justification to judge a school on what they're teaching, and how they're teaching it. Now you're basically asking a school to present their case for you based on the grades that it's largely determined based on the grades that the kids are getting in the classroom. But now you have an opportunity to say, okay, if you're not going to do traditional grades the way we've all grown up to know them, you have an opportunity to say, what are you teaching? Because otherwise, how else are you going to judge the performance of these institutions? How else are you going to judge whether or not your kids should go to this school or the other? If there's no grades, then all you have left is the quality of the teachers and the things that they're teaching. So it's a good opportunity both at your local level and at the state level, but also at the federal level, right? If Republicans do take control of the majority, and they're in charge of appropriations for federal education budgets, and you look across the landscape, it's like, okay, well, I got to decide if X state gets this amount and this Y state gets that amount. Well, what kind of grades are they? How are they contributing to the national grade point average? Well, that's no longer a thing, right? So you have really no other choice but to say, all right, well, then what are you teaching them? What is the curriculum? And we're going to judge it based on that. And I guarantee you that would freak the left out because they get upset when parents start asking, wait a minute, what are you teaching my kid? Why are you teaching my kid to hate this country and to hate the opportunities that this country provides? So now you have that opportunity, and now federal legislatures have that opportunity as well. So that'll be an interesting sort of a sidebar as we, as conservatives, aim to take the majority in Congress, is making sure that our Republican officials are asking the toughest of tough questions of the recipients of your tax dollars. What are you teaching our kids?